Gotham Season 3, Episode 12, Ghosts. I really enjoyed this episode. I wish I knew it came on yesterday. That's why I'm doing this, the day after, almost 2 days after by the time I actually end up uploading this. But I thought it was a good episode. I thought it was really cool watching. It was mostly behind the scenes until they finally got to the end of the episode. But the Riddler messing with Penguin, I really loved that. I was like, it was clear that they were messing with him every time his dad was showing up. It was like the light behind him. I thought they were doing something different where it was like a visual sort of thing that they had someone working with. I forgot about the guy that could like copy people's faces and voices. I completely forgot about that character. So it was cool when they did that at the end, and the steps that they go through were insane. And also, I'd like to point out, because of the reveal at the end, how it didn't really make a lot of sense at the end of the episode that his dad, like his fake dead dad would be able to walk past all those people, and nobody seemed to pay any attention to that. Like, he had the bell with the blood in his hand, and I'm like, that, when they kind of revealed it at the end, I was like, that kind of doesn't work. I'm not sure exactly how you explain him walking past all these people, because I would assume they knew who his father was. Like, a lot of these people have been to his house with him being the mayor. Considering the circumstances of his father's death and just the story of Oswald Cobblepot, I think a lot of people know what his dad looked like. And I just thought that was a little weird after they finally revealed it. I was like, that part makes it a little odd that he was able to walk past, all these people. He walks past some people when he goes in, because he walks past like two guards, just two random people or something. And when they revealed it, that was the one thing I was like, well, no, that kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. That's why I thought it was like a visual thing. And at the end, I wasn't really sure. I was like, maybe it's a visual thing. Maybe he's just actually losing it at this part. Because even with the visual thing, I was like, that doesn't make sense how he could possibly be in there. So I was like, maybe he just went, completely nuts at this point. Or maybe they had drugged him or something like that. So that was like the only little thing that bugged me at the very end of it. I was like, well, no, that kind of doesn't make sense. He goes through this insanely crowded room where they're filming this. Granted, all eyes are on Penguin and this reporter, but not literally all the eyes were like centered on the two of them in the middle of the room, and that's it. No one could like look past or see anybody else walking around. So I thought that was a little weird, but I definitely enjoyed it. Like, them making him go crazy the whole episode, and watching him snap. And I didn't think the new, I forgot what the new chief mayor or whatever, I didn't think he'd get killed off in this episode, but that was interesting. He beat the crap out of him, and he's gone now. So he's dead. They take the body, they clean everything up, and just to kind of keep the madness going. So I'm excited to see where they take it for sure. Jim in this episode, excuse me, he has a pretty serious issue that he has to deal with, where, of course, Falcone had to bury his son, and, I was happy that it changed, because when it first started out, and they do the scene in GCPD, and Lee's there, and she's yelling like, I demand that you arrest him. I was like, holy crap, she's not on his side. I was very confused, because honestly, I'm like, he was right behind her with the knife. And I remember mentioning that during the mid-season finale, like, the whole scene with the knife dropping and stuff, maybe they wouldn't believe that he even had a knife in his hand and things like that. And it seemed like that's the route it was going, where Lee was like super pissed off, and she's like, you haven't heard the end of this, and she's saying like, I hate him and stuff like that. And I was like, man, this is crazy to me that she wouldn't be on his side in like any way, shape, or form, trying to understand, what happened. Like, he was right behind you, with the knife and stuff. So I was kind of shocked in the beginning, and then it transitions as the episode carries on, because she learns the truth from Barnes that he's not like overtly insane anymore. It's kind of like, it's almost like he's a normal person, because the virus has just completely taken over him. And I thought that was interesting. And I feel like the main reason for his sequence, aside from the fact that he was a catalyst for basically saving Jim, by convincing Lee that there was definitely no way to save her husband, they also made a cool reference to Barnes as a villain. I guess in the future, considering how they do this show, he might show up sooner. But Barnes is talking about, he'll be their executioner. The executioner is actually a character from Batman. He's a very, very, very unknown character that has shown up. I don't know, not very often. I mean, he's been in one of the Batman games, which is the only reason I know his character. And he was in the Batman animated series, but it was such a long time ago. I don't really remember the details of that. But I'm pretty sure if I remember right, him in the game was he was nothing. Like I think they do it where you like punch him one time or something, and then that's it. And then it's like, all right, let's go to the other cool characters. And it was like a joke boss battle where he's like, oh, I'm gonna beat him up and stuff, and you punch him like once and you take him out. And it was kind of funny thinking of that with Barnes, but I think they'll do a more serious version of it. But I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, all right, that's a nice reference to a very unknown Batman character. I don't know. I mean, maybe a lot of people would know it from those of us who played the game and started watching the show. It's like, oh, he was in. I want to say was it Origins? I think it was Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Origins. Batman Arkham Origins. So that was interesting to have that in there. I was like, holy crap, that's not what I was expecting at all. Actually, it may have been the last Arkham game. No, because that was Arkham Knight. So it was the third. It was the prequel game. But I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, okay, that's a nice reference to a character. I think it'd be much cooler as Barnes because he's crazy and has like super strength and stuff. So I think it'll be an actual challenge of a character to deal with once they decide to bring him in, or which he'd have to of course escape from Arkham, which everybody does that anyway. So I'm sure he'll be out by the end of the season. Like no big deal. But I like that idea that they're introducing a new villain. We have the other part of the story outside of Jim and dealing with all his stuff. Or I guess it's kind of a part of his story, but it's the main focus for next week's episode. And that is the people that followed Jerome are trying to bring him back to life. And I'm very excited for that. I was not expecting that at all. I'd heard some rumors and stuff like that, like, oh, he might be coming back and things like this. And I was like, okay. I tried to stray away, especially when it's really cool news. I'm like, all right, I don't want to know too much about this. I'll just see how it plays out so I don't get super excited. But it appears as though they just brought him right back in the next episode. And we'll see how long he lasts. They did some cool comic book stuff with him having like the fake face that makes me think of, I believe it's the Death in the Family comic series for Batman, where Joker like rips his own face off and then puts it back on and it's like all stretched out. I think that was the point of that, and he has like the what am I thinking? He's got like stitching and stuff around his face, almost like Leatherface or something. So I was like, that's very interesting because they showed him dead and he's like in the tube thing, and he looks totally fine. So I'm like, there's no reason whatsoever for him to have all these scars and stuff on his face, unless he's just nuts, which he totally is. So I'm very curious what they're going to be doing with him. Of course, I think like everybody, he was one of the coolest things in the last season. So I do definitely hope that he sticks around for quite a while. But I was happy to see that they were bringing him back. It seemed like it's just going to be all chaos in the next episode, which is definitely enjoyable. And like I said, hopefully they don't just bring him back and then kill him off at the end of the next episode. So that's what I'm looking forward to there. And then we have Bruce and Selena and them dealing with her mother coming back to town and trying to figure out why does the Court of Owls need this giant crystal owl, which we get a clue is a map for the city. And there's one little part, it looked like it was almost like a tiny symbol of the sun, just like in this one random block. It was like a little red circle, and it was almost like the sun, like a sunburst sort of image. And I was like, okay, there's something in these locations. There's probably more than one little dot that I just didn't notice. But I was like, all right, it's a map to the city. Something is somewhere within the city that they're gonna find, towards the end of the season. But this episode really focuses on Selena being with her mother, and then finding out that her mother owes this guy, I think it was like $100 grand, and then of course they say, well, Bruce can help, can totally pay you off, and then it's like, well, he's got a gajillion dollars, I'll get way more than $100 grand, so now his plan is to go mess with Bruce, which means he's gonna have to mess with Alfred, who we saw in this episode. It made me laugh, but as soon as Selena's mom knocked on the door, he was like, all right, and he just pulled the gun straight. I was like, man, he's just ready to like blow people away. So I don't think this guy's gonna be much of a threat for him, but I am curious how that's gonna play out. I always love seeing Alfred like just beat a bunch of people up in this show. Like that's one of the best things about this whole series. But I thought this was a good episode to come back to. I think we got every character in the show except maybe Butch. Like even Lucius actually got to show up in this, which I always mention, like they're always at the GCPD, but we never get to see him. So I was happy to see him. Zaz was hilarious. I loved him in this episode. He shows up as the messenger and stuff. He's like, I'm just letting you know, like, hey, he didn't even like Falcone's son. He's like, good on you for that. So I never really liked him. And I just loved him through the whole episode. And he almost gets killed when Jim points the gun out. I was like, holy crap, are they really about to kill off Victor's ass? But of course the gun was out because I'm like, every time they fight each other, one of them gets knocked out, but they always end up surviving. Of course, Jim has to live. He's the main character. And I guess they just really like having Victor's ass in the show. That's one of the things they don't want to change for the continuity. So he always gets knocked out, or they just escape from him, and he always manages to be in a later episode. He never gets killed. He's always there to kill somebody, and he doesn't kill them. Most of the time, he doesn't end up killing them, because typically it's either Jim or some other main character. So most of the time, the people he's there to kill, he doesn't end up killing. The only people that ever die are his henchmen. Same in this episode, he had the two ladies with him with machine guns, and both of them got taken out. He actually ended up killing one of them, because it's just like, alright, well, let me just shoot up her, and then Jim doesn't have a shield anymore. So I was glad to see that he survived, and I'm sure he'll come back with either two more ladies or two guys with him. I think he actually always has two women with him, and something always happens, like they always end up dying or something like that. So they're just keeping that going, where he just always survives, or he's by himself, which, once again, it just always works out for both of them. It's like, alright, man, Zaz is going to live, Jim has to live as the main character. So it continued on, and then the way they ended it, where he's in the house and then Falcone comes in, he's like, you can go home, it's canceled. It's just like, okay, boss. And it was basically just like, see you, Jim, I'm out of here. And he leaves, and that was it. Just like, whatever, I'm just doing what I do. Like he kind of likes Jim, it seems. So he was really funny in this episode, but I really enjoyed it. That was a good mid-season premiere. I'm very excited for them, for whatever they're going to do with Jerome, as long as they don't like kill him off at the end of the very next episode. I'm really hoping that's not the case, but really enjoyed this one. We got like I said, pretty much every character except for Butch. Even, like Zaz was in this with side characters. So definitely a great comeback episode. Very intense with the emotional stuff going on with Penguin and him freaking out and not understanding what's happening to him. So I can't wait to see that continue. Falcone has his moment with Lee where he's like, you say that you hate him and stuff like that, but I think you're just masking up what really scares you, and it's the fact that you still love him. So we'll see where that goes. It seems like it should be so easy, but they're just, the parts in between them clearly liking each other is like, yeah, I married this dude who was going to murder me, and then you murdered him, and I didn't know that he was going to murder me. So there's some things that they kind of need to work out before they get back together. But I thought it was a fun episode. Would love to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, least favorite parts about it were. I would love to know what you guys want to see with them resurrecting Jerome. Like, do you want him to stay in permanently? Which I think everyone's answer is going to be yes, as long as they do it right. Do you not want him to stay permanently? If you're one of the few people that just somehow didn't like his character, I don't know how that could be the case. He's a great character, but we'd love to know what you guys are both expecting to see and hoping to see from Jerome's resurrection in this next episode. And of course, I want to know what you guys think about this episode in general, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.